Hello, my name is Chris Niclas. I am a registered journeyman farrier and also the Vice President of the Equine Lameness Prevention Organization. The purpose of this video is to complement an article that was written by Jeff Coda and I in the previous American Farriers Journal on drawing a foot. And so we're going to just draw a foot today, and I'm going to go step by step just like the article, and here we go. So if you have your journal in front of you, first thing we do is start by drawing a little dot that represents the back of our frog or the central sulcus, and we're going to draw a little V around it. From here we're going to go up 7 squares or 1 3/4 inches for the purpose of this drawing, and then we can connect the apex of our central sulcus down to our V and the back of our central sulcus here. So this measurement, if we double it like so and draw a dot, this helps us recognize that we have a non-distorted frog length. Go ahead and draw in a nice round apex of the frog. So a healthy width of the frog would be something that is greater than the length of our central sulcus. So in this case, we're going to go 1 1/4 or 5 squares over, and same with here, 1 inch or 5 squares over. So then we can tell from the apex of our frog and come down to the back of our frog. Now we can connect these 3 dots. So we'll draw from our commissures, or where our frog and commissures end, and we've now drawn a frog that has a healthy central sulcus, it's a non-distorted frog length, and a healthy frog width. From here we want to find the widest part of our foot. So on average size foot, we come back 1 inch from the tip of our frog, or 4 squares. When we come back 1 inch, I'm going to go 1/4 inch over from our commissures and draw a dot. And same with here, 1/4 inch over and draw a dot. So now that we've drawn in the termination of our bars, now we want to draw in the back of our heel. So same place, just a tiny bit up from the back of our frog, 1/4 inch over. Back of our frog, 1/4 inch over, tiny bit up. This can now be the inside of our bar, and we're just going to draw a slight arch down and connect these 2 dots. All right, now we're going to go to our central sulcus, divide the length of our central sulcus in half, which would be 3 1/2 squares, or give or take, and draw an imaginary line from this area, from the commissures where our sole and frog meet on this line, go roughly about 1/2 inch over, and same here, 1/2 inch over. This marks our seat of corn. We can go back up to our termination of our bar and finish drawing in our bars. All right, so now we need to finish drawing in the back of our foot. We're going to start by going back to the measurement of our central sulcus, which was 7 squares. From our commissures, we're going to count over 1 3/4 inches or 7 squares and draw a dot. And same on this side. From our commissures, 7 squares over, or 1 3/4 inches. So I want us to take an arch from our sole wall junction at the widest part of the foot and draw it down to our seat of corn. So we're going to draw a gentle arch down to our seat of corn here, and same on this side, gentle arch down to our seat of corn there. Now we can go 1/4 inch over on both sides to draw in our hoof wall, and then draw from our widest part of our hoof wall down to our heel. All right, so now we've drawn the back of the foot. At this point, we're going to go from our dimple to the widest part of our foot, which is 10 squares, or in this case, 2 1/2 inches, and double it and draw a dot. Now this is where our sole wall junction meets, and we can draw a front foot, or a hind foot, or however you want to go about it. I am going to just draw kind of a front foot shape, it looks like. All right, and now we can go from our sole wheel junction up 1/4 inch and draw in our hoof wall. All right, and if we want to get a little artistic, we can draw in our heel bulbs, like so. All right, so here is the back of our frog, right here. This measurement to the widest part of our foot doubled, or within 1/4 inch, helps us find a foot that is a 50-50 ratio from here to here and from here to here, has an equal proportion around the widest part of the foot or the center of rotation. So practicing drawing a foot like this, what it teaches us is to just look at the different landmarks. How do some of these measurements come together? And it's going to vary from draft horses to ponies and large feet. So just to recap here, I want to go over the 5 ways of finding the back of the foot, our widest part of the foot or center of the foot, and using that as a ratio to help find what our toe length is. So to find the back of the foot, we're going to start with our dimple, our commissures, and the flat spot at the back of our frog. And this flat spot is kind of created by where the heel bulbs and frog kind of join together. So when we have these landmarks, that helps us find the most static reference point from the back of the foot. Find the apex of our central sulcus, draw it in. When we double that measurement, ideally our apex of our frog comes within that measurement, and that gives us a non-distorted frog length. So we can now know that that is a non-distorted frog length. We can come back 1 inch from the tip of our frog, or mark where the termination of our bars are, or we can mark the widest part of our sole wheel junction. When we have these 5 landmarks, it allows us to draw a line connecting these dots, or the best of these dots, and it helps us find the center of rotation or the widest part of the foot. And give or take a little bit on this measurement from 1 inch back from the tip of the frog. On a smaller foot, it's going to be a little less. On a bigger foot, it's going to be more. Termination of the bars is a great landmark to really search out and look for that tissue. So once we have the back of the foot determined, where the termination of our bars are, we can then take this ratio from the back of the foot or the dimple to our widest part of our foot. Here we go, double it, draw a line. If it is within 1/4 inch of that line, we would call that a non-distorted frog, I apologize, a non-distorted toe length. So when we are looking for is a foot that has equal proportions. Thanks again for watching. Once again, my name's Chris Niclas. I'm a member of the Equine Lameness Prevention Organization, or the ELPO. We have lots of information available for you guys for free. We have all sorts of classes going on this year. Come check us out. Cheerio.